The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community that sees all things new. I am Alpha Sanford and I'm streaming live from Boston, Massachusetts. Good morning, good evening, mabuhay. Welcome to Once a Teacher, Always a Teacher. Hello, everybody. How are you again? I'm so glad that you are here with me on this wonderful, wonderful day. You know, today's show is a bit special for me in the sense that one of my former college classmates is joining me today. And what's extraordinary about this show is that this former classmate of mine stayed in the education field almost immediately after college. So his education journey is almost similar to my journey in such a way that immediately after college, we both went into the field of education. There's a little bit of twist right there for him, but we're going to get to know the little twist right there. But everything is still related in the field of education. Now, many of you know that my education journey has mostly been in the public school. Ever since when I was in elementary school, high school, college, I went to public schools. And then my journey here in the United States is mostly teaching and leading in public school setting. So today's special guest, it's going to be a little bit different from my ordinary interaction and my ordinary experience of being in the public school setting. Today's guest, he's going to open up our minds on his experiences and his journey teaching, leading at one of the finest private schools in Manila. My understanding is that he has been in this private school for at least 16 years. Imagine that, 16 years in the same institution. So I feel like if you had already moved past that 10th year and then 15th year, you're almost a legend in that institution, right? So I'd love to get his insights, how he became and how he is staying at one of Manila's most finest schools or private schools in Manila. So without further ado, let me actually bring to you my former college classmate from the University of the Philippines, Diliman College of Education. Let's bring in Mr. Harold Diokno. Harold,
Hello, Alpha. Hi, Miss Alpha. Good morning. Thank
good
you for
morning.
having us. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
yes. Thank you. Thank you for for being with us. Actually, I know you're very busy, but you made time for us to be with us today. So salamat Bogs for
Salamat
being with
din.
us.
Salamat din.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about you as a teacher at a private school. Let's start with how long have you really been a teacher in the private school setting?
Okay, actually, you were correct in saying that I've
Yay!
been in this private school. Um, am I really allowed to say it? But yes, yes, I've been with Salle Greenhills for more than 16 years already.
Amazing.
And you're correct in saying that, yes, this has become my vocation, and I really chose to be here.
Mhm.
And although I have had experiences with other private schools before, but this is what I call as my home now, and
Mhm.
yeah. But all in all, it's been almost 20 years in the education industry.
Ang galing. And, I really salute you, Harold, for staying in the education field for this long. Yeah. Konti na lang. I only know a few people who really stay in the I'm sorry. See, I say public. I only know a few people who stay in the education field for this long. So, nakaka-inspire. You're inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not an easy ride, I must say. But of course, in the Philippines, well, right now, we've been experiencing a lot of problems in the
Mhm.
education sector, and I know it's getting a bit tiring or
Mhm.
tiresome for most teachers, especially in the public schools. But you see, I don't know if you'd agree, but teaching is more than a profession. It's more
Right.
than a job. So yeah, staying in one really requires a lot of patience and a lot of dedication.
Right. So what brought you talaga to teaching?
Um, Back in college, I wasn't really keen on teaching. I mean, I really wanted to shift to other colleges back then.
Uh-huh.
But as days went by, I began to see myself in the classroom, and being able to make a difference
Mm-hmm.
in children's lives. And also, I see that there's so much things to be done in the education sector, and I think back then I felt the need that I was needed. I mean, I thought that I could make a difference, and I want to see that happen. That's
Okay.
why siguro that was the challenge for myself then. Na even though I'm not really well starting out back in college, I wasn't really keen on staying in the education sector. I eventually found myself loving it. So there.
That's good.
Uh, yun.
That's really good. Now, why private school? How did you end up staying and teaching and now leading at a private school?
Um, I guess out of luck.
Okay.
I actually started teaching in the public school, Miss Alpha. However, I was basically a struggling professional then, so I'm not gonna lie to you. It's mostly for financial reasons, and back then I was trying to look for greener pastures.
Mm-hmm.
In the early 2000s, the private schools pay better
Mm-hmm.
than the public school. Unlike now,
Mm-hmm.
you see a certain shift, a certain paradigm shift happening because the public schools they give much more compensation, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
we now see private schools, private school teachers being pirated or being transferred or choosing to transfer to the public school. But in my case, I guess I just fell in love with the whole school and its mission vision because LaSalle
Mm-hmm.
is really big on community, and that's what I really wanted. I want to
Mm-hmm.
be part of a community, of a certain community, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw how they are relating well with community partners. So I like that. I guess that's the main thing that appealed to me. I guess.
Well, that's pretty
So
good.
yun.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I heard some things from you that makes me think. I heard the word home. I heard about
Ah,
community, and I
mhm.
heard uh, something about the culture of LaSalle Greenhills that has
Yeah.
really made you stay there. So, for educators who are still, let's just say, testing the waters, right? What will be your advice to them in trying to find their home or their niche when it comes to teaching?
Oh, that's a tricky one,
Yeah.
Alpha. Because well, based from my experience, it was rather turbulent. I mean, I've been to two schools already. One is public, one is private, and then I landed here in LaSalle. Um, I guess my advice would be to one, test the waters, meaning during their first 3 years, try to get a sense of how it will be, well, on a professional level, on a personal level, if things will be really, a perfect fit for you. But if you see that, if you notice that you've been really doing so much effort, exerting so much effort into, say, fitting in or trying to find yourself or trying to, get a sense of professional accomplishment, then I guess, and that that school is not giving you all that, then I guess it's better that you leave. So it's really tricky, and it's really a matter of dedication. There's also the other school of thought kasi na, other teachers might say na, no, you choose your home, you choose where you want to be, and also that is very true, no, even though the things may become very problematic for other teachers, but still they choose to be there for some other reason or for any other reason, then I guess they can simply call it as, home. So, yun. Yeah, it's rather tricky. Medyo mahirap. Ang hirap ng question mo, Miss Alpha.
No, actually, it's almost like luck plus hard work
Yeah.
and almost your dedication and your love to the students, I think, is what
Hmm.
I'm hearing. Um,
Yeah.
and it's important to point out and to start sharing how an educator like you has stayed in the same school setting and in the education field for so long, because statistics show that the first 3 to 5 years of teaching, a lot of the teachers actually end up leaving the education field.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, yeah, so
I could,
it's
in fact, I could very well relate to that, Miss Alpha.
Mhm. Okay, tell us
I have
more.
had
Yeah.
I have had experiences like that. I mean, I was in a a quarter life crisis back then, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really had that moments at a crossroads where, where I was really asking myself if this was the right vocation for me. If it was really the right career for me. I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
LaSalle would really, give me that fulfillment that I've been looking for. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, it came to that point, and until, I, instead of dwelling into the instead of wallowing in the
Yeah.
whole what if scenarios, I decided to make something for myself. I I I ventured into different responsibilities, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, being members of different committees in the
Mm-hmm.
institution, being more involved in the university, in the community. What else? I was also elected as a faculty president of
Nice.
our union slash association. So there. So I guess it's really a matter of choice. When you are at that crossroad during your early years of teaching, and you're trying to find yourself, if you're trying to weigh things professionally and personally, I guess you really have to first accept the fact that there are realities out there that we cannot change. No, in the education sector. Sorry if I'm being serious right now, because I'm coming from the Philippine perspective.
It's
Things are
good.
different here.
Yeah.
Things are different here. Teachers are really underpaid. But you see, given all that, I guess teachers will really have um, to exert more effort, to be more patient in trying to make sense of things. Uh, but yes, I totally agree. During the early years of teaching of this profession, I must say those are the most difficult and trying times. Yeah,
Wow. And you made it through. You got
yeah.
through that, right?
Uh-oh.
So, I'm curious, Harold.
Hmm.
How is it like to actually teach at a private school? And let me just put at one of Manila's finest private schools. So those people who don't really have any idea how to teach in a private school, first, what do they need to do in order to teach there? What are the skills that they need to have? And like the overall general thought of becoming a teacher at a private school.
Okay, so well, let's start with the very basics. Well, I think as for the requirements, it's just like any other school requirement or pre-employment requirements. But in LaSalle, we give premium to masters and PhD units or degrees. So there's an add-on to that, and also it's a good thing that you mentioned something about finest or being prestigious, but because I'm not gonna deny it, LaSalle will always be synonymous to, being privileged or being for the affluent. But it's not entirely the case. I mean, we have scholar students. We also have students from the middle class. Um, they're not entirely, from the elite families. But yes, I guess there's extra work if you want to stay in a private school like this, because number one, the attitudes are different. The student behavior is a lot different. You have to understand that they're coming from different realities in life. What could be difficult for you may not be difficult or problematic for them. What is a problem to them could not really be applicable to your experience. So there's a sense of um, connection. You have to first learn how to deal with these kinds of students. And I'm not really saying that they're different, but their realities are different. I mean, these are mostly from, rich families, privileged upbringing. So I guess that's the challenge that I saw. That, I've had my share of brats before, and I really want to be able to reach out to them, and and to open their minds to more realities. I started out as a social science teacher, and I guess that's the challenge that I wanted to take, to change their mindset. But yes, for those who have no idea what it takes to be, or what it takes to teach in a private school, yeah, that's basically the same requirement. And also, you have to have a good command of the English language. Uh, dahil hirap ang mga batang ito sa Filipino. And it still holds true even up to this day. Their first language in their homes is English. So there.
Wow.
Yun lang.
That's, I feel like I just opened a tiny window in my mind about, private school, especially at one of Manila's finest, like how is it like to be a teacher over there? I love what you said about connection, right? So I heard you need to be able to speak very well in English, but I think the connection piece, the relatable piece, and I guess where I would like to ask is, what would be your thought in terms of, let's just say, a regular middle class or somebody who's just starting out, who may not have the same reality as the students at the private school? How would they start to connect, and still being authentic to themselves? Yeah, how would they build that connection with the students?
Number one, I guess, well, based from experience, what I did then was to first observe uh, where they're coming from, their experiences, and it really takes some time to fully comprehend what's going on in at the back of their minds. But when the teacher listens to the students, they understand better. And I guess with understanding comes more connection, more harmonious relationship, more relevance, uh, and you'd be able to connect more to the students. Um, there are things that are like non-negotiable, like for example, socioeconomic status. I mean, you can't really change that, but you see how they view the classroom, how they view your topics. There's some flexibility in that. And once you get to relate to them well, and try to, how should I put it, when you've finally made it, to their consciousness, when you're able to do that, to touch their hearts, I guess things will will be smooth, will be a lot smoother, kasi you'll see change happening in your, not only in your everyday pedagogy or teaching, but
Mm-hmm.
also with how you communicate with them.
Mm.
um am I being vague? I'm sorry.
No, no, it's
Call
actually
me out
very,
if I'm being very vague.
yeah, it's very good. I feel like I just transported myself into your shoes because in a few aspects of my life, I can somehow relate into what you are saying. So the different sort of reality of some other people. So this is
Yeah.
great. Yeah. So without really sharing some personal information, but generally talking, uh, can you share the benefits, including maybe the pay range of being a private school teacher?
Um, okay. I guess our only advantage, uh, yeah, compared to the public school is that
Mhm.
number one, there could be payments to overloads.
Okay.
Like for example, you're given extra tasks. There's payment attached to it, or there's extra compensation. There's also the premium of healthcare.
Mm.
So in LaSalle, it doesn't matter if you're simply, or if you're just starting out as a teacher. You get the same healthcare benefits as the tenured ones. And I guess that's not entirely true for other private schools as well. So I guess there's there's extra advantage if you're coming from a big school like LaSalle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the benefits are good.
Mm-hmm.
Our basic rate is at, well, currently stands competitively at am I allowed to say it? I don't know. But our basic right now is at 30,000. I guess that's pretty much competitive in the private school setup, and also competitive for competitive in comparison with the public school. So what else? There are also other community, and I'm sorry, institutional benefits like bonuses and all that I heard are not entirely present in other schools, or not being given to other schools. So I guess it pays that you're in a big university setup, or in a big um, school like LaSalle. But yeah,
That's
there
great.
those are the perks that I off the top of my head.
Yeah. You know what? I love how you may be able to get some compensation for the extra load. So that's
Yeah.
extra pay on top of your basic pay. So if you are masipag, then
Mm.
you're able to rack up some more extra money.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, we don't have overtime pay.
Okay.
We simply give premium to other responsibilities given to the
Ah,
teacher. And I
okay.
guess that's what I really like about LaSalle. I mean,
Mhm.
you may be given a lot of responsibilities or extra work, but we do acknowledge the fact that these responsibilities, extra responsibilities, are on top of your teaching
Mhm.
responsibilities. That
Mhm.
should be well compensated. So
Mhm.
I hope other schools would eventually, have that mindset,
Yeah.
because being a teacher is really challenging. You
It
know
it
that, diba?
it definitely is. So, take me to your typical day at your school. Kwento mo naman, what's your typical day like? How many caseload do you have? How many students you have? What's your start day? Do you have a planning time? Yung mga yun.
Okay. Well, I'm not anymore teaching, no. I'm in middle management level already. But
Mhm.
our typical schedule starts with the homeroom, and our schedule works on an hour basis period.
Mhm.
So per period, there's 1 hour, and right now we're fully adjusting to the on-site or the face-to-face setup. But I usually start my day with the usual routines, because there are specific routines that we have to observe, from the flag ceremony to the prayers to homeroom if you're a classroom teacher. But in my case, it's mostly supervision. So I go on monitoring, I go corridor prefect duties. I also make sure that my teachers are complete, are well. If there are absentees, I attend to the substitution. Um, and that's on top of the paperworks. So there. But our schedule is rather lighter compared to the schedule of other schools. Um, we start at 7:30
Mm-hmm.
and at uh, 2 o'clock for the senior high school. Well,
Okay.
that's for the classes, okay.
Yes.
But for the junior high, that's until 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So there, compared to other schools, yeah, I guess we have a more friendly setup here in LaSalle. So yeah,
Great. So you're now a middle level leader at
yeah,
your
senior
school.
high school coordinator. Yeah.
Yeah. So how does that look like? How is it different from being a teacher versus being, let's just say, the principal?
Oh, okay. Um,
And what do you do? Yeah. What do you do?
being at the middle level management, it's very, how should I put it? You're in the middle of things. I mean, you have to strike a balance between being too teacher leaning and
Okay.
being too, and being, of course, understanding of the administration because you're in the middle, right? So
Right.
we're always trying to mediate. We're always trying to coordinate whatever the admin would like, for the teachers and for the students. That's where we come in, and of course whatever complaints, whatever concerns that the teachers may have, we accommodate them. We try to screen them. We try to follow them up, and we try to um, yeah, allay all of these concerns. So you're being a coordinator being means being stuck in the middle, and you always have to strike a balance. But I finally gotten the hang of it after 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
um, and well, compared to the classroom teacher, the
Mm-hmm.
classroom teacher's primary concern is always the student,
Right.
and classroom management. But for us, it's all about people management, because
Mm-hmm.
what I consider now as my students, or because or yeah, people under me would immediately be the teachers. So I deal with teachers now, with adults now, and that's much more challenging, because these are adults, right? So there, and I also have to deal with the administration, the upper administration. So there.
Okay.
Well, for me, it's being stuck in the middle and striking a balance always. So that.
Yeah. So, did I hear earlier that you are unionized? Do you have a union?
Yeah, we have a faculty association, but we
Okay.
haven't really turned it into a union. In
Mm-hmm.
other LaSalle schools, there are unions
Okay.
present, but in LaSalle Greenhills, no, we have yet to turn it into a union. It's merely an association of faculty. There's also a counterpart for the staff and other personnel. They
Mm-hmm.
have their own association, but
Got
it
it.
works, yeah, basically like a union anyway. So.
Got it. Now, I'm hearing that you're having fun, obviously, in this role. But tell me, what's the least favorite part of your job? Or what's your least favorite part of your job?
Least favorite part.
Least favorite.
Um, hmm, okay. This may sound very controversial, but I really don't like not really, not really not liking it, but
Uh-huh.
it comes with a job. But you see, there's dealing with the teacher's most minute concerns, meaning um, there are things that that are personal
Yeah.
and would
Personal
always come,
matters.
yeah, personal matters coming to my attention, and I always have to to also look into that and to always consider that. um I know it comes with a job. I know it's really part of people management, but
Right.
sometimes you also have to weigh things. There are toxic teachers. Okay, I
Sure.
won't deny that. There are difficult teachers.
For
There
sure.
are stubborn teachers. So there, dealing with them, it comes with the territory,
Mhm.
but it's all part of my job. So of course I do all the management involved. But when you ask me if I really like it, of
Mhm.
course, that's at the bottom of my list of the most desirable things that I find enjoyable in my job. So
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you, Harold. I hear
okay, I'm trying to sugarcoat, my answer. Okay.
No, I definitely hear you in terms of that because, we all have different personalities
Yeah,
and
exactly.
different educators may have different opinions. And there's always two sides of the story. So, as a
Exactly.
leader, and in your case, as a middle manager, a coordinator, it's your job to mediate, right? And almost
Exactly.
be in the middle of these conflict resolution because at the end of the day, you are responsible in making sure that the teachers are tending to their job, which is in front of the students. So if they're having some
And
tension,
also, now that you've mentioned conflict resolution, I must say that's a skill that that should be part of your skill set if you're in this kind of job.
yes.
Because I don't know if you'd agree, in the classroom, the conflict resolution that you'd face on a
Hmm.
regular basis would simply be, students, will be conflicts between students,
That's
right?
right. Yes,
But things are different in, I guess, in this kind of responsibility
that's right.
or position.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. All right. Before we take a break, tell us a very inspiring story that you have as a private school teacher or right now as a private school administrator.
um okay, I haven't really thought about it, but I have my share of inspiring stories of students actually coming up to me, um, outside school, or at least messaging me privately, thanking me
Mhm.
for
Nice.
what I've done or for how much I've contributed to their well-being right now. Um, the most recent was last year, during the pandemic. Um, he fully became a physician.
Nice.
So he really sent me a message thanking me for the things that I've done, okay, that helped him to become a better, I would say, a better person that he is right now. He especially thanked me for opening his mind to current events,
Mm.
to the social realities.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess when you receive things or affirmations like that, you you feel very, not only that you feel very fulfilled,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a sense of completeness
Mm.
to your job. I mean, to whatever it is that you're doing. I mean, no matter how bad the day is, it will really make your day. It will really um, I guess you can fully say that, okay, my job here is done. I've accomplished my task. I was able to, affect at least one person. Okay, and whatever I did before made a difference to him now. So yeah, nakakatuwa yung mga ganun. I I appreciate things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't really come in droves. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there are only select students who would really take the time to personally message you and to personally thank you. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, as educators, that's all you can ask for, right? Some kind
Yeah.
of affirmation like that. So, yun, nagpapasalamat siya dahil I was instrumental in his well-being,
Wow.
and yung mga advocacies na gusto daw niyang gawin, magagawa na niya ngayon, healing the poor, being, more out there in the community,
Mm-hmm.
uh, doing what he loves most, being
Mm-hmm.
a doctor, so something like that. Yeah.
Wow, nakakadama
So,
naman ng puso niyan, Harold. It's so nice to hear. Yeah, very, very nice to hear. All right. Well,
yeah.
thank you for sharing that inspiring story. So when we come back, I'd love our viewers to really get to know you naman as a textbook author or your journey as
Okay,
is it a publishing author? Is that the right term? Publishing author. Okay. So let's talk about that when we come back. All right,
sure.
folks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We'll be right back.
Juan Lu and his puppets face to face with special guests Makata Tawanan, Jess Box, and the Lunaria Marionette Show.
Salita. Alam mo, Tito Anlo, kung wala ako, magsasalita ka mag-isa. Kung wala ako, wala kang masusuot. Kung wala ako, wala kang nakakain.
November 13, Sunday, 7 p.m. at the La Verdad Auditorium in Apalit, Pampanga. Buy your tickets now and see you soon. Face to face.
Channel is an online alternative new media, a platform of online shows for people on the go. Please watch all our shows as seen on screen. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, your own content, but we make it easier for you. TNC aims to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our channel is a responsible global 24 over 7 platform that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity. Please continue to support Once a Teacher, Always a Teacher on select Saturdays, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch live or on replay via Facebook or YouTube. You can also follow us on IG. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Just search hashtag TNC Now. For sponsorships, please email now@thenewchannel.com or send us a DM. Enjoy these life-changing shows because we made them for you. All right, folks, welcome back. I'm hoping that you are taking down notes in terms of teaching and being in a private school setting. So I'm going to bring back our guest, Mr. Harold Diokno. Mr. Diokno? Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome back again, Harold.
Thank you again.
Yes. So we left off earlier with your journey about being a textbook author, right? So tell us, how did you get into that? What do you do as a published textbook author?
Okay, so how did I get into this gig or this stint? I started out with a different publishing company. I
Okay.
won't say it, but
Mm-hmm.
as a content writer,
Okay.
and then and the work that I mostly did back then was for the ebook versions,
Nice.
and then I I met fellow authors who
Mm-hmm.
eventually referred to me to the publishing house. So it started out 5, 6 years ago, I believe, or more than
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then right now, I was able to publish two textbooks, both in Araling Panlipunan or in
Really?
social studies.
Yeah.
One is for grade school, and the other one's for economics in high school. So there. Yes,
Nice.
publication. That's I do that on the sides, and that it also comes with certain perks. Like for example, you
Mhm.
get to visit provinces, and not simply for marketing, but
Mhm.
also for seminars for
Mhm.
teachers. So I give seminar workshops for teachers as well as part of the whole deal, as part of the whole package. So there.
Wow. Wow.
So
So, if I were a student in the Philippines, I might be using and reading one of
yeah,
the
might
textbooks.
be.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's almost another world of really reaching the minds of our students.
Yes.
Mhm.
I guess I would always want to stay true to what I believe in. Like for example, if what made me stay in LaSalle was that challenge to affect more people inside the classroom, I
Yeah.
saw this opportunity as being able to reach other people from different parts of the Philippines, not people pala, different students in
Mm-hmm.
different parts of the Philippines, being able, to give them quality work and something to read, that they could possibly enjoy or possibly learn from, unbiased, research based, and really quality work. I want to give them that. So through publication through publications like this, I'm grateful to be given that opportunity. So yeah.
Wow. Maybe one day when I go back to the Philippines, I will find Araling Panlipunan or social studies or economics books, and I'm going to ask you to sign it from me. That'll be cool.
Thank you, because you'd be buying that from the bookstores anyway. So thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So you may have some students and colleagues who may be watching, but to your students who may be watching, any word of advice for them?
uh, okay. Well, first off, I would like to say hi, because it's been a while. I
Uh-huh.
know you're all grown ups now. You have your own families already. But I sincerely hope that you're doing just fine and getting by well, especially after this pandemic. But
Yeah.
I also hope that you're a man or a woman of character. I mean, not just for your own families, but to other people as well. So yeah, hit me up. I'm in social media anyway, so let's talk. But I really want to hear from you guys. And I sincerely hope that you're doing fine, and you're doing the best that you can in whatever it is that you're doing now. And of course, being able to help other people, that's perfect. So yeah.
That's great. You mentioned about you are on social media. So, if any of our viewers would like to get in touch with you and would like to ask more questions regarding stepping into the private school setting or maybe becoming a published textbook author, how may they contact you? What's your social media handle?
um I only have one Facebook anyway, so you can easily find me. That's Harold Diokno. Um, I also am present in Instagram,
Okay.
but you'll mostly see pictures there. So that's rather personal. But sure, if you can find me there, I can easily answer and respond to your queries. Um, I may have I may have to double check the security settings that I have set for that Facebook account, but sure, yes, I am free to answer your queries if you have any.
Great. Thank you, Harold. And before we go, do you have any inspiring stories to share to our viewers?
Inspiring stories. I guess more. It's not really an inspiring story, but an appeal to
Mhm.
teachers, because being in this profession is no joke. Okay, um, it really takes some courage and some determination to fully make this a choice, because more than anything, you'll choose to be where you end, diba? I forgot the Mao Zedong saying that, um I don't know, anyway, you bloom where you are planted, something like that. Okay.
Yes.
I guess it's not really from Mao Zedong, but it's really a common adage. But you bloom where you are planted, right?
Mhm.
So my appeal should be to teachers to, number one, to not give up on teaching or on this education sector. If you're in the Philippines, to not give up, given all the bureaucracies and the problems in the system.
Mm,
Do not
mm.
simply give up, because the students need you. The
Yeah.
students need you. Um, yes, you may be bored, you may be challenged by the structure, by the system, by the schools that you're in, but at the end of the day, it's not really the service that we provide is really for the students. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, Alpha. There was this viral video of a really tired teacher. I think that's from the US, if not China.
Okay. Okay.
There's this really tired teacher walking in the corridor, and he's entering his classroom. But as
Mhm.
soon as he enters that door, that tired face of his
Mm.
changes, and
Mhm.
he simply gives out the widest and the warmest smile that he could muster, because it's for the kids.
Mm.
So I guess that's
Mhm.
my appeal, and I guess that's the mandate, and also that's how we are as a teacher. We do things for the kids, we do these things for the students, and it it is second nature to us kapag
Mhm.
alam mo yan, we may be tired, we may be all spent for the day, but once we enter the classroom, we're all smiles, we're all giving them the optimism that they need, and that's my appeal to teachers, to not give up. Okay, we're wired this way. So yun lang, talagang patience lang siguro, at determination.
Wow.
There.
Let me just repeat what I heard from you. Bloom where you're planted.
Bloom where you're planted. Correct.
Yeah. Don't give up, because we're wired this way. And at the end of the day, it is all for the students. And it's a way of maybe leaving a legacy for the future generation.
Yeah,
Napakaganda,
exactly. Diba?
right? Yeah, napakaganda.
That's why I really appreciate you doing this for the Teachers Alpha. Okay,
Oh, thank you.
you inspiring so many teachers out there. I
Mhm.
really hope that they follow you and they watch you, because this thing that you're doing for the teachers,
Mhm.
it makes a lot difference, and a lot more encouraging. It makes being in this profession a lot more encouraging, a little bit more fun. So thank you. I really love what you're doing.
Oh, thank you
Thank you for
too.
this show. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's my pleasure, Harold. And thank you for sharing with us all your stories, those wonderful strategies and tips of becoming and staying in the education field for all of these years. Oh my gosh, you are a rare, extraordinary person. So thank you. Thanks for your service.
Thank you
Yeah.
for the kind words, Miss Alpha. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Harold. So, anyway, I can't believe it. It's close to an hour already. My gratitude again to our guest for today, Mr. Harold Diokno, for giving us a wonderful window to his life as a teacher and as a teacher and as a middle administrator at one of Manila's finest private schools. So I hope you were able to learn something new from today's guest. And if you were inspired, or at least if you learned something new from this episode, please leave a comment uh, below this show, or and share the show to somebody that you know who needs to hear and be inspired to stay in the education field. With that, I want to thank all of you for your time. I want to thank all of you who are listening to the replay or watching to the replay of this show. Thank you. And I hope to see you again and continue what you're doing and inspire the world. See you again, and thank you. Bye for now.